Good morning, ladies. I am excited to be in here with you today. Today is, I think today is March 17th. Um, and I decided to start doing lives, preferably on a daily basis, but it may not be every day, but I want to try to at least go live 2 to 3 times a week. At this time at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I wanted to do this so that it could be a collective getting together of women who can share their experiences and have this be a part of your self care regimen. I'm calling this self care journaling, and today's, I guess, topic that I wanted to share about is mental strength. I started doing these lives, or I decided to do these lives because there is, we're in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic, and we are being asked to stay indoors, not go outside, not be, involved in numbers of people more than, at this point, I think 10 people. And sometimes for some people that can be lonely, that can feel like, you're the only person in your home, or, it might be you're not necessarily in the greatest environment, or you could be a single parent where there's only children there and there aren't that many adults around. So everybody has different circumstances. Everybody has to go through this experience in their own way, in their own circumstances. But I wanted to try to bring about some type of relief in the best way that I know how. I am Alicia Curry Walker. I am the creator of this group, Soul Care. And this group is focused specifically for women to create better ways of taking care of their mental health and their mental well being. I call self care soul care because I believe it's deeper than just the surface, taking a bubble bath or just the surface, going to get a massage. Especially at times like this, you have to be creative and find ways that you can take care of yourself and pour back into yourself, and do what you can do to maintain your own mental health. My daughter and I did a live last night in a group called I'm Sending My Kid to College, and we did a live specifically about how to parent your college age student in the time of quarantine, like how best to support them. And one of the things we were talking about last night was maintaining your mental health, because your mental health impacts your physical health and impacts your immune system. So it's very important that you take care of your mental health so you can keep your immune system strong. That's just one of the ways to help keep your immune system strong. So if you are in here with me now live, I would love to see who you are, where you're from, what drew you to this live today, and what do you want to get out of it. Again, today's live is really about what I'm calling self-care journaling, where I'll jump in here live. I'm going to try to do at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not daily, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be around a different topic where I'll share just a brief, synopsis of what the topic is. And then I'll give journaling questions that you can either type out in the comment box, or once we're done, I'll upload like a PDF that you can have to write on for yourself. And so one of the reasons why I'm doing this in my area of, comfort is because I'm a licensed professional counselor, and it's important to me that people take care of their mental health, especially at times like this, because it impacts and it affects everything we do. And sometimes we can't necessarily speak the words out to other people, but we can write it out. And for those of you who really don't like to write out in a journal, you can take the journaling prompts that I'll send or upload here, and you could record your voice on your phone. Everybody's phone these days, or computer, or whatever it is, has some type of audio recording device where you can record your answers so you could hear them later. Or for some of you who like video better. Record yourself in a video so that you can watch it and listen to it later. The intent of this is to be a type of encouragement, because sometimes in the middle of the night, you might wake up and just realize, okay, we're in the middle of this weird time. I'm uneasy. This is what I told myself before when I was in the right frame of mind. This is what I can remind myself of again. So before we kind of jump in, if you want to say who you are, where you're from, I would love for you to comment and be interactive with me, so I don't feel like I'm in here by myself. And if you know of other women who should be a part of the live today, tag them if they're in the group. If they're not already in the group, invite them to join. I'd love to grow the group at this time, because I think it's important that we take care of each other at the same time that we are actually taking care of ourselves. So today's topic today is really, I call it mental strength. And I want to start us off with just a prayer, and then we'll move on from there. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for just another day, another opportunity to thank you. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with these ladies. I thank you so much for the gift that you've given me. I pray health, strength, calm, peace, comfort in these times of uncertainty. I pray for more certainty. I pray for more sure leadership. I pray for everyone's home to be full and filled with abundance and love. I pray for a sense of calm over our nation. And I pray that we take care of one another and we take care of ourselves. I pray that we are encouraged and strengthened because of this time, and that our families, our bonds are made stronger in this time. Thank you so much, Lord, for all that you've done and continue to do. These and other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. So, ladies, thank you for joining me. Hey, Mary. I see that you are there, and other ladies that are watching. So I'm going to look down just a little bit, because sometimes on the computer it's a little weird when you're trying to comment and see what everybody's saying, and it's not always up to speed at the same time. Also, I have a few notes on my phone, so I want to make sure I cover it. But I wanted to go more into the definition of what mental strength is. And it's something that I want you to think about, use it, not just in this time frame, but once we're out of this pandemic and we can go back to our regular everyday lives. So mental strength is the ability to resist, manage, and overcome doubts, worries, concerns, and circumstances, and challenges that prevent you from succeeding while keeping a positive attitude. We are in a time where what we're going through definitely can have us having doubts, worries, fears, anxiety, stress, and they challenge us in our ability to move forward in what we want to have as a normal everyday life. It can challenge us in being successful at this point in time, whether it's success with our children, our families, our work that we still have to do to maintain our homes. But mental strength is being able to overcome all of that, all while having a positive outlook or a positive attitude. And that positive outlook and positive attitude portion is so very important, because the first part of it in the definition talks a lot about, the fears, the worries, the doubts, the stressors. And if we focus on that part of it switches and changes our brain to focus specifically on those negative things. And so at the end of the definition part, where it says, yes, you can have all these things going on. However, you're doing it with a positive attitude. The positive attitude piece is what shifts it, what changes it, what allows you to be able to operate in this time like we're in such a way that it doesn't wear you down and it doesn't take you down, because the positive attitude is the thing that you need to focus on. And some of the things that help you have a positive attitude is being able to be aware of the things that you're grateful for, the things that you appreciate, the people that you love, the things that you see in nature that are surprising to you that you didn't take the time to see before, but you can see now. Looking at the things that bring you joy, the people that bring you joy, the anything that you can find in your daily walk that allows you to focus on the positive. The rest of the definition is mental strength is the ability to have the confidence to take on these challenges while seeing the opportunity in the challenge. So when your mind is cluttered with the fears and concerns and the stress, you're in that fight, flight, freeze portion of your brain, and it shuts off all creative juices. It shuts off all free-flowing thinking. It shuts off your ability to really see the positive. So it's really about the act of looking and seeing the positive and using that as a focal point to help you move and shift from all of the panic that we're seeing, all of the fight, flight, freeze that people are operating out of, because fear makes people operate out of a state of panic. You can't operate out of panic and still function. Your body won't function right. You'll be stressed. You'll be hypervigilant. You won't be able to focus. And there are so many things coming at us right now, especially if you're responsible for continuing to work and taking care of yourself and your family, your children. You are now their teachers in the home, whereas even if you worked in the home, they were out of the home at school. And so now you are the teacher, you're the doctor, you're the cook, you're the, the nurse, you are the housekeeper, you're all of these things. And some of us had all of those roles before, but there's an extra added burden of this thing that's hovering over all of us with the coronavirus. And so it's important that even in this time, we focus on what we see as the positive. And even in this time, we focus on what we can control without being controlling. Focus on what we can control without being controlling. So that's the overall gist of what mental strength is. And so I'm going to give you all some journal writing prompts that I'll go through aloud with you. And then once we're done, after I finish getting it together, I will upload a PDF that you can either do on your phone or you can download and either type out, write out, record audio or record video of you doing these prompts. So some more people have joined. Hey, Amisha. Hey, Tiffany. If anyone else has joined and you want to say hello or tell us where you are, just any of your thoughts about what's going on, this is a great opportunity to do that. I want to allow this space to give people the room to be able to feel a sense of connection and feel a sense of support and feel a sense of peace. I want this space to be one where we're supporting one another, but you're also taking away from this something that you can do to take care of yourself. So I'm going to read some of the questions, and if you want to answer, like I said, in the comments, you're free to do it. But I'll also give you like a few minutes to write it out if you want to write it out on some paper. So the first prompt is, it's easy to be mentally strong when things are going well, but what can you do now to maintain your mental strength? What are you doing now to maintain your mental strength? Again, mental strength is the ability to resist, manage, and overcome doubts, worries, concerns, and circumstances and challenges that prevent you from succeeding while keeping a positive attitude. Mental strength is the ability to have the confidence to take on these challenges while seeing the opportunity in the challenge. Tiffany says, I think now is the time for us all to remain calm, because if not, things can really get out of hand. That's true. We are in a time where, many people are living out of survival mode. And when people live out of survival mode, they are no longer using the prefrontal cortex, they're not using the thinking part of their brain. They're using the primitive part of their brain that doesn't allow them to fully think through things. So think about, you have a teenager and you've told them time and time again, don't do something, you're going to get hurt, but they keep doing it. That's because their brains aren't fully formed. And so they don't have the same executive functioning skills, the same ability to make choices and decisions that a rationally thinking person would make. And so they keep making those same mistakes. It's out of impulse. It's out of self-preservation. That is the state of mind that a lot of people are operating out of now because they're scared. So yes, it is important that you don't act out of being scared, because when you do, you're not thinking properly, you're not making the right decisions and choices, and you're making impulsive decisions. And it's hard to function in that state of mind, and it wears down your immune system. So please, if nothing else you get out of this today, remind yourself to not act out of fear, but act and think out of a calm, positive state of mind. So the first question was, it's easy to be mentally strong when things are going well, but what can you do now to maintain your mental strength? If anybody wants to type their comment in the box, you can, or you can be writing them out on your own. The second question is, how are you managing your doubts, worries, and concerns? What are you doing to manage them? And what I mean by manage them is feeling them, knowing that they are there, not trying to suppress them, not trying to make them go away, not living in them every moment of the day, but also not escaping them 24/7. So a lot of times when people are in this type of state, they're continuously buffering. They're continuously escaping. They're continuously doing things so as to not think about it. But all that does is build that up in your body. So when you are at a state of rest, when you try to go to sleep, you either wake up early or you can't go back to sleep or you have trouble falling asleep. So what are you doing to manage your doubts, worries, and concerns at this time? Not sweep them under the rug, not pretend that they're not there. What are you doing to manage them? Hey, Jacinta, thank you for joining us. And for those of you who have children, what are you doing to help manage their worries, concerns, and doubts? Because I'm sure most of you know that the children in our homes pick up on our energy, pick up on our state of mind, pick up on, how we're feeling, how we're acting, what we're doing. So if we're frantic, if we're afraid, if we are talking to each other harshly, if we are trying to control the situation by being controlling, if we're tense, then there's going to be tension in the home. We set the tone in our homes, ladies. And so what tone are you setting for your kids? What tone are you setting for yourself? What's the tone in your home? How are you managing your doubts, worries, or concerns? So you can either write these down as I'm going, and if you want to share a comment in the box, I would greatly appreciate it. The one thing about Facebook Live, that's great. We get to get on here live and you can type things out. But I wish there was more of a conversation where you could talk back to me, because I love to interact and engage. One of the things I like about the work that I do is whether I'm working with an individual client or in a group setting, the back and forth ability to communicate. And so many therapists at this time have had to get their clients online. And that's something that I've been doing for a while. I just do it through a different platform where we can actually talk back and forth. And it's a conversation like we're in front of each other, but it's a great convenient way to communicate and connect. So I am going to try to go back to my phone in this feed to see if there were any new comments that I missed, because it's hard to see them sometimes on the computer. Again, if you know of anybody who should be on with us now, tag them in this post. If you know anyone who should be in the group, invite them to the group. because I will be doing a live with the journaling prompts at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to try to do it daily, but I don't really know how our home schedule is going to be, because for those of you who don't know, I have 4 daughters and my husband is also working at home now. So um, as much as I can, they're on the Wi-Fi as well doing schoolwork. And one of my daughters is actually also using my Facebook account to get into her schoolwork. So we're pulling on all of our digital resources at this time. So I'm going to go back to the questions and the prompts. And so far we've discussed what is mental strength. We've also asked the initial question of, it's easy to be mentally strong when things are going well, but what can you do to maintain your mental strength? That's one question. The second question is, how are you managing your doubts, worries, or concerns? And then the third question is, what are you doing to keep a positive attitude during these current circumstances? So what are you doing to keep a positive attitude during these current circumstances? You can either write your comment in the box, or you can write it on your paper, or whatever you're using to write out your answers. And the thing about journaling is, sometimes when you start writing, you might surprise yourself as to what your answer is. Your thoughts of what you think is going on can be very different when you start to write it out. And writing things out is very cathartic, is a huge release. I've shared before that I had a journal that I kept continuously for years. And for me, it was great to look back and see the growth that I had over that period of time, the prayers that I wrote, the answered prayers that I got from God, and even some of the struggles that I had, some of the failures that I had, to see like, okay, this thing I was struggling with for however long, and this was the breaking point, this was the turning point. Or this thing I'm still struggling with, like, what is it? Like, I need to get over it. But I love journaling because of that. So Ebony says, it's an on-time topic. I have been listening to a book on CD called Better Than Before. The author shared that one person scheduled a small slot of time to worry after the time is up. You are not to revisit until that time the next day. I plan to tweet it for myself and just jot it down as concerns and solutions time. It's very important to acknowledge the fact that you have concerns, you have worries, to not try to brush them under the rug, to address them, to control as much as you can control without being controlling, without feeling like things are out of control, because thinking and feeling like that takes your mind to a different place, and you'll be putting yourself in the same position as people who are acting out of panic at this time. Jacinta says, in response, I believe, to what are you doing to keep a positive attitude, is breathing exercises are very helpful for me. Very true. It is important to recognize when you feel your breathing getting frantic, or you even feel your heart rate beginning to race, and learning how to calm yourself down. Tiffany says, I am staying positive by using this time to connect more and do work that I would not ordinarily do, cleaning out things that no longer serve me, and reading. This is a great opportunity to simplify. There's a book by Bruce Hebel, I believe, called Simplify. I read it years ago, but it talks about simplifying your life, not just your physical surroundings, but simplifying the clutter that takes up the space in your brain. It's important to do that, and this is the perfect opportunity to do that, because keeping so many things floating around, going around in your brain, helps to create and increase anxiety. So not only decluttering your physical space, but decluttering your mental space. Anybody else have any comments? Nope. So I'm going to move to the next question. What emotions are you feeling right now? Again, I want everybody to be able to acknowledge the emotions that you have, address them if possible, talk them out, write them out, input different things that help you deal with these emotions. And if you need to speak with a professional, seek that out as well. So many therapists are going online at this time, so that if you need to use your insurance, you can. Insurance companies are trying to be as flexible as possible to allow this whole thing to occur. Um, but some people are have the private pay and sliding fee scale things as well, so do those things. One of the things that I did was create a online small group for people that are feeling a lot of anxiety or feeling anxiety more than they normally would, and they want to have a safe space to process it. So I opened up 3 groups that start next week, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, and the times are from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The one that'll start on Tuesday is for parents, mothers. The second one on Wednesday is for college-aged students, age 18 to 22. And the third one on Thursday is for high school teens aged 14 to 18. And I'm doing this so that the groups are separated out. It will be obviously online. The groups are 8 to 10 people only. I'll share the link in here once we're done. But it's a great opportunity for people to come together and work through the anxiety that they're feeling specifically at this time. I greatly reduced my rate to make it more affordable and open for people that are interested. It would be, right now it's just 4 sessions, so 4 different weeks at $25 a week. So the total is $100 per group set. So the first one will be on Tuesday of next week just for parents. The second will be on Wednesday of next week just for college age students. And the third one will be on Thursday next week just for teens 14 to 18. And I'll find the link and post it up here. But what are you doing at this moment? Or what emotions are you feeling at this time? So has anybody posted their emotions and what they're feeling at this time? If you don't write it here, it's okay if you write it somewhere else. And I'm going to, for those of you who missed it, I'm going to post the PDF that you can download and write out, later, or you can record your answer on audio or record your answer on video. So the next question is, how are you giving yourself grace, and how are you giving your family grace during this time? Because we're in close quarters, we are in our homes. The CDC is asking us to limit our activity in public places and spaces, really for just the essentials. And I believe at this point, the getting together in groups, according to the CDC, and yesterday, what the president asked us to do was no more than 10 people. So in our house, there's already 6 people. So, we're almost at the limit just in our own home. But what are you doing, or how are you giving yourself and your family grace at this time? Because we're in such close quarters right now, and we are in a state of just a different reality, just a time that I know that I've never seen in my lifetime. I want to be able to give myself grace, to have certain feelings, to be kind to myself about, certain things will get done, certain things won't get done, understanding that with everyone being at home, that I won't necessarily, have the space to just go do what I want to do by myself completely. I might just have to be creative and find a corner, just go in my car or sit outside, my home, but being creative and giving myself grace. So one of the things I had to give myself grace about just this morning was I had to get up early to get to the store to buy food for my family. There's 6 of us. And so that's supply and demand constantly in my home as far as keeping up with the groceries. And so I had to give myself grace today, because going in the store, I was like, this makes me a little sad that all of this is going on, and that, some people don't have the ability to go to the store and get what they need. Some people don't have the means to go get what they need. And it made me a little sad that, our nation at this time is going through this, and so many people have gotten ill. And I'm protecting my family because my 14-year-old has an illness that's an autoimmune illness, so she is at risk for being around other people. So the quarantine that the government is asking people to do, we've heightened that for our home, and so we're just in our enclosed quarters and nobody's going anywhere. But this is not something we as a family aren't used to, because it's something we had to do when my youngest was going through her bone marrow transplant. We had to be hypersensitive about cleanliness. We had to be hypersensitive about being able to go out of the house, have other people come in, because she couldn't go out. We had to be hypersensitive and learn to cook things and cook in bulk so that we could freeze and use for later, because we couldn't have food from restaurants. We couldn't have takeout. Like, we couldn't go to Chick-fil-A, even if it was to drive through, because she couldn't eat foods that were not cooked in our home, because we were taught a certain way to clean and sanitize, and you don't know if those people are doing that elsewhere. So I gave myself permission this morning to be sad. I've given myself permission or grace to be anxious. And I've given my kids grace to be able to do their work that they have for school. But I'm also supporting them in it, and giving them the ability to do it in the way that they're most comfortable, so that we are not adding to their anxiety. Tiffany says, I'm giving myself grace by reminding myself that it's okay not to have the answers. And that's more than anybody could ask, because at this time, a lot of us don't have answers as to what's going to happen next and what should happen next. Last night, I shared earlier, my daughter and I did a live. She's home from college. They were told to leave on Wednesday, and they had until Sunday to leave campus. And so she packed up and got everything out and was on the road by Thursday. And so just last night, she showed me an email that she got from the university saying that commencement was canceled. Like, the people that have worked so hard for 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is, to get to the point of being able to walk across stage won't have that opportunity. That's going for college students, maybe even for some high school students whose high schools may end before this quarantine is lifted. So I'm giving myself grace to understand that this is a time that we've not seen before. Prayerfully, we won't see again in our lifetime, but not making myself be in a position to be stressed about what's going on, and understanding that these are times that are uncertain, but the certainty that I know is in my faith in God and in Jesus Christ. And so leaning specifically on my faith and counting God's grace on my life and my family as one of the most important things that I could ask for. And so the next question is, what are you doing to be fully present with yourself and your family? So I know it's real easy to escape in a good Netflix movie or a good Netflix series. I mean, we can binge watch with the greatest of these. But if you could look at this, like if I go back to the definition of mental strength, and the second part of it, it says, mental strength is the ability to have the confidence to take on these challenges while seeing the opportunity in this challenge. So a great opportunity at this time is to be present, fully present with yourself and with whoever is in the home with you. And even with those people who are not in the home. So with the advent of all this technology that we have, FaceTime is real, Zoom is real, all these other video platforms, connecting with people that we might not have gotten to see, people that we haven't talked to in a while, spending time or quality time with ourselves, but also with our family members who are in the home with us, but in a video way with those who are not. But being fully present. So not like talking with them, but also looking and scrolling through Facebook, you know, playing games with them, coloring. Like, you know, if you had a day where you went out to work and you got home at 6, maybe 7 o'clock because you're in Atlanta, let's say you just drove through traffic and your kid is, you know, you just got home with them and they're like, you know, mommy, play a game with me, or let's do hide and seek. And before it was like, nah, I'm tired. I had a long day. Let's try it again tomorrow, and again tomorrow, and again tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't come. Being fully present with your kids. Play Play-Doh. My kids love to paint their nails. One of the things they love to do is put on those fake nails. I can't stand them because they fall off. But they love putting those on, painting each other's nails, doing hair, just spending time together, learning new things. They're very artistic. So how can you be fully present with yourself, with your family members in your home, and with your friends and family members who are not in your home? How can you get creative? And if they have a deck of cards, you have a deck of cards, you go on FaceTime with them, y'all play spades together. Y'all do a board game together. Y'all, you know, watch a movie together. You comment about it. In the time of when Scandal was really big, we would all watch Scandal together, tweet about it, Facebook about it. Take that same community concept, find a movie that you and a friend or a loved one enjoy, watch the movie, and text back and forth about it, or talk to each other in the movie. Like, recently, my husband and I went to the movies together, and I told him, I said, you know what? We are those people in the movie. We're the people in the movie that talk too much. We're the people that won't be quiet. You have all the time in the world now to watch a movie with them and talk as loud as you want, comment as much as you want. I was like, the people next to us probably can't stand us because we comment. I said, and I had to tell myself, like, I tried to like really focus and say, stop talking. I couldn't stop talking. I couldn't stop commenting. I couldn't stop laughing out loud. I couldn't stop just like, did you see that? Did you see what they said? Like, and I was like, the people next to me are gonna be like, oh, okay, lady, be quiet, get out of here. But that's us. Like, we're old people now. So do that. Like, one of my favorite movies, don't judge me, okay, is It's Complicated. Anytime that movie's on TV, anytime that movie, I've recorded it. One year, my family bought the CD for me. Sometimes when my husband travels, those are my friends. I invite them over because he won't watch that movie with me, so I watch it by myself. That's one of my, you know, guilty pleasures. But, you know, my sister enjoys When Harry Met Sally and what's that other movie? I can't think of it. Anyway, I might invite her to a movie night where she's in her home and I'm in mine, and we're FaceTiming watching When Harry Met Sally, so she can talk me to death during that movie and I can roll my eyes, but we're spending time together. Does that make sense? How can you be fully present with the people in your life in a creative way now, so that you don't give up all of what makes you human, what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel connected? So what are the things that you can think of that you can do to be fully present with your loved ones at this time? Tiffany says, we also talk a lot in the movies. Tiffany, you must be old too, because I swear for God, I tried to shut up and I could not. I really, like, you know how you play, I don't know if y'all do this, but I do this, especially if we're driving and my kids range from the age of 9 to 20. And so especially with the younger ones, I'm like, let's play the quiet game. The quiet game is everybody has to be quiet. And so the first person to talk or make noise loses. So I tried to play the quiet game in the movie and I lost every time because I couldn't be quiet. All right, so the next question is, how can you limit the time that you buffer or use things like Facebook, Netflix, etc. to escape during this time? I'm not saying don't ever do it during this time in specific. I am saying that we all need a moment, a time to just binge, to just go away, to escape however we can. But some of our escapes was Facebook. And the reality of it is now Facebook is inundated with everything coronavirus related, and it's hard to escape. Instead of the escape, you're now adding to the stress, the pressure, the obsession, the fear of what's going to happen. And so earlier I talked about the definition of mental strength, of being able to shift from that worry, overwhelm, all of that, to shift to the positive and being able to see the positive things. So sometimes our buffering is an escape, but especially now with Facebook not so much being an escape, what else can you do so that you're not always escaping? This kind of goes back to the previous question of being fully present. Tiffany says, Tiffany says we are not old. Okay. The young people don't talk that much in the movie. They just get on their phone. They look at Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok during the movie, which was annoying to me, but I digress. I don't want to be old. Yeah, India, all of that adds to your anxiety. So especially if you're going, like, let's say on Facebook to escape, but also like if you're doing like a Netflix marathon every day, all you're doing is escaping. And so again, when you try to rest, your mind can't rest. All you're doing is pushing it further and further and further down, and it's going to come out in a different way. So a part of engaging and keeping your mental strength up is ensuring that you are not just escaping all the time, that you're giving yourself grace, and that it's okay to escape, but don't do it all the time. Okay. India says, I'm currently reading books that has taken me forever to start. And then Tiffany says, they don't talk, period, even on their phones. True. That's so true. They actually don't talk. Everything is text or whatever. And I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with them. But I will say this is a great opportunity to learn something new, to do something new, to teach yourself something new. There are so many videos and classes and things online that you could be doing to just better yourself at this time. And that's the thing that you focus on versus focusing on the things that you lack, lost, or can't get back, let's say, during this time. So let me see how many more questions. Just 2 more questions. What can you do to help control your environment without being controlling? And I said that before. And then the last question is, what opportunities do you see to improve your life for the better after this? How are you going to be better? Focusing on what you can do, what you can control, how you can make your life better, even in the midst of this. What could you take out of this time of being quarantined, this time of having to be together? Ebony says, we are outside starting a garden today. I love it. My 9-year-old loves to garden. She's not very good always at keeping up with it, but she loves to garden. That is like one of the things and she has a pretty good green thumb when she pays attention to it. What are some of the other things that you guys are doing to better yourselves and your family once you come out of this time? What can you take with you that you think would add to the benefit of you and your family? Like I said, it could be learning something new. It could be reading something. It could be taking a class you've always talked about. It could be learning how to do new recipes. Like for some people, they really didn't cook before, and now you're forced to cook because it's not advised really to go to restaurants. And to be honest with you, if you wouldn't go to a restaurant, I wouldn't do a drive-through at this point either. Because you don't know. I mean, they're putting in restrictions and things about as far as sanitation and washing hands and whatnot, but only you know when you cook how well you wash your hands. So, that's just my little 2 cents. But what are some of the things that you're implementing right now for yourself that, or what opportunities do you see for yourself and your family at this time for a better life after all of this coronavirus is over? It's important that we can see the opportunities even in the challenges, and that's how you create, maintain, and sustain mental strength. Mental strength is not easy. It doesn't mean acting like you're strong, like nothing is wrong. We acknowledge that something is wrong. We acknowledge when we're hurt. We give ourselves grace for those things. But then we see the opportunity and the challenge, the opportunity in the challenge, all while having a positive outlook, not the gloom and doom, not the fear, and not anxiety. Tiffany says, but I do miss Chick-fil-A already. I mean, my girls love Chick-fil-A, and if anybody would be clean, they would be. However, we're just gonna have to pretend. I told my daughter, I said, you need to go buy Chick-fil-A and ask them for a grocery bag full of Chick-fil-A sauce because they love Chick-fil-A sauce. I said, we'll get our own chicken breast, cut it up, and make our own chicken nuggets, and you can dip to your heart's content in Chick-fil-A sauce. She said, I'll pay for it. I'll buy my own bag, whatever you want to do. But at this time, we got to be more creative. And, it really is going back to a time that is what it was when I was growing up. It wasn't you did certain things that we don't necessarily do now. And sometimes our families are overexposed, overstressed, overrun with too many activities. And so this is a great time to, as I like to call it, circle your wagons back to who and what's important, and really focusing on taking care of yourself and taking care of them. India said, I confess, we had Chick-fil-A yesterday. We prayed over it. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I'm saying, for the long haul, it might be a time very soon where even that won't be an option. So at least for a while. And so just getting ourselves prepared for being able to really take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our families in the best way that we can. And so that we can operate in a place of peace, in abundance and love, blessings, and not in a place of fear, not in a place of lack, and not in a place of scarcity. That is not who we are. That is not who we are called to be, especially as children of God. And I just want to thank you, ladies. And again, my goal is to do this as many times a week as I can, given, I'm home with mine as well, being teacher and running a business at the same time. But I do want to be a light and a beacon for those people who might need this time. And even if you can't join live, doing it later, like I said, I'm going to post the PDF of the questions. And so you can do these questions later. If you missed anything, please tag anybody who might, need this, or invite people to the group who you think could benefit from this. And the last thing I'll say is, again, I created 3 different online support groups for people who might be experiencing anxiety, especially around what's going on. These are 4-week support groups. There are 4 different ones. One starts on Tuesday, March 24th for parents from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. There's another one that starts on Wednesday, March 25th for college-age students age 18 to 22. And then the same time, 1 to 2:30. And then the third one starts on Thursday, March 26th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All groups are 4 weeks, and each group is just $100. The link is in the comments, but I'll pin it to the top. And I'm doing this at a highly discounted rate so that I could try to help as many people as I can in the best way that I know how to, which is using my skills in this self-care journaling, free time, but also offering other ways for people to connect. And I appreciate you guys spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing as many of you tomorrow. And if there is something in particular that you want me to create maybe some journaling prompts around, please feel free to write those in the comments here. Tag me later. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure you comment because I want to be able to interact with you too. I love you, ladies. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And have a joyful, happy day.